Hello everyone, it's Melissa Faust from stampwithmelissa.com and welcome to today's craft and chat video. Now, if you watched last week, we made a really fun arch card, and while I was filming, I came up with a brilliant idea. And then I totally teased you and I was like, I'm not going to tell you what the idea is. You have to wait and come back on a future video. And I'm telling you, the teasing's over. The wait is over. Today is the day we are going to make what was my vision. Now, I did already make one. We're going to make one. This is one I already made because I had to see how it all worked. And then I'm going to hook up my camera. We're going to make a second one. But it turned out pretty dang cute, but I am going to show you what it is. So, you know, I just have to keep you in suspense for a little bit. But we are going to make this adorable dinosaur box. How stinking cute and fun is that? I think it is so adorable. It's just a cute little box here that you can fill with candy. Actually, I think a gift card would fit as well. Let's try it. Yep, you can stick a gift card in there too, maybe with some shredded paper or something like that. Super duper cute. So we are going to make this together. I'm going to give you measurements and all that good stuff. If you would like to head over to my blog post to see this project as well, click the link down in the description box below this video. That will have pictures, measurements, supplies, all of that good stuff for you to grab there as well. Just in case you catch it in the video and you don't write it down or something. It's all there too. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started because this one is a fun one. All right, so this is what this cute little box looks like. It is so adorable. I love it so much. I think it's so fun. We are going to use those everyday arches dies here. And then I also pulled out a sentiment from the Darling Dinos. Of course, we needed dinos, right? So I pulled out You're Terrific to use on this card as well. I did do some of the prep work ahead of time, so I'm going to show you those. But we're going to do that main box together. So you can see I've got two strips here, Granny Apple Green and Basic White. These are each 1 1/8 inch by 10 inches, scored at 1/2 inch. We've got two Basic Black arches die cut here. These are with the, oh, let me double guess now. I think it's with, this one's with the 4th. Yeah, so these are the 5th largest of the dies. They're just one step down, one size smaller than that guy there. Then we've got our Poppy Parade tongue, which is the 3rd largest of our arch dies. We've got two Basic White circles that were die cut with the smallest circle from the Stylish Shapes dies. And then we've got two little Basic Black circles that I punched out with a 3/8 inch hole punch. Now, this is not something that Stampin' Up! Sells. I got this on Amazon, so I will link that in the description below for you to find. But I do also use it for my blends. This is why I actually bought it in the first place, is to do my blends markers here, my labels for those, which I have created. So, okay, let's go ahead then. We've got all these fun pieces. I'm going to go ahead and just stack these up. Hopefully we don't lose any eyeballs. I'm going to put the eyes on the tongue. This is just so funny. I just have to be funny. And then we're going to do our Granny Apple Green piece. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to verify here. This piece is about 3 inches wide. So I'm actually going to go ahead and cut it at, I don't know, let's just go 4 1/4 because that's 1/2 a sheet of cardstock. So let me grab my Granny Apple Green here. And I actually might have a piece that's already 4 1/4. Let's find out. Okay. Let's see what this is. Actually, it might be just slightly bigger than 4 1/4. Sorry, I had to put my cardstock away. Yeah, it is. It's 4 3/8. How silly is that? Okay, so we've got that. And then I'm going to cut this down to 9 1/8. So I'm going to pull out that extendo arm here and cut this to 9 1/8. Okay, that piece is extra. You can do whatever you want with it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to score this at 4 1/4 and 4 7/8. Okay, that is the same thing as if I had turned it all the way around and scored at 4 1/4 again. Okay, that's basically what I did. All right, so we've got that part done here. Let me just, oh my goodness, all the things are crashing. They're all in my way. All right, anyway, so what I'm going to do here is let's go ahead and just score these, or burnish these score lines real quick. I'm just going to use my bone folder just so you can see them. But this section in the middle this 5/8 inch section here. This is actually going to be the back of our box right here, okay? So that is what that is for. So let's go ahead then, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that arch die. Now this is the 4th largest again. We can see that score line right here. We're gonna do the same thing on both sides, but we have that score line right there. I am going to line up the inner solid line with that score line, okay? Just like so. All right, and I am going to just use some Post-it note tape here to hold it in place. I've just got the one piece, so let me grab another one. And we're just gonna hold that in place just to make sure it doesn't wiggle, doesn't go anywhere. And I'm gonna grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine here so that we can die cut this out, okay? And here's what we're gonna do. Now that solid line up at the top, right, that would cut. I don't want it to cut. So I'm gonna take my clear plate and line that edge of the clear plate up with the edge here of, like basically with our score line, right? That inner edge of the die, that's what we did here. And I'm gonna push this through until the arm catches and just kind of help hold it in place and crank this through the machine, all right? Wiggle that. And let's see if it did what we wanted it to do. Yes, it did. So see here then, it did not cut. Come here. This Post-it note tape's like, no. It did not cut the top, which is good because if it did, we'd just have, you know, an arch. And we don't want just an arch. We want to make a box out of it. So we're going to do the same exact thing on this side. And I am eyeballing it to make sure that I'm lining up the edge of my die with the one that's already cut. Right? And if you want to measure that, you absolutely can, but I'm just going to eyeball it. Lining up that inner solid die, line of our die there with the score line again. And then I'm just going to wiggle this through. We might have to pull out our plates a little bit more. Wiggle this through so that we can make sure this lines up just where we want it to again. Okay, and start feeding this through till that arm catches. And then we'll crank it through. Okay, all right. This is the moment of truth. Hold your breath till you know it's all good, right? Okay, and look at that. Isn't that cool? Now you might be like, Melissa, that looks a little silly. And yeah, I know it does, trust me, but we're gonna fix it. Hold on, I'm just getting rid of my Post-it note tape there. And let's get rid of this guy too. And you guys, it's going to be so cool, so fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our snips. And we are going to trim away on that score line. Just go to that cut from the die. Just so we can trim this guy away here, okay? But we're going to leave that little flap in place because it's going to provide some stability when we put the final box together. And you'll see as we go along, you'll be like, oh, that makes total sense, Melissa. You're a genius. At least that's what I imagine you're saying. All right, so these pieces, you know, those are kind of cool. You could keep them for a card or something. I'm just going to, you know, recycle mine. And then I'm just going to cut in the sides here of these. Okay, just to make some little flaps. Now, usually these would be scored on that solid line so you know where to fold it. Just like any other box, if you're making any other box, but they're not because we didn't score. So you can either score, which I might just pull in my trimmer here, and I think I'm just going to line up the edge here in the gutter. Just grab that scoring blade, the light gray one, okay, and just score those. It's not perfect, but hey, it's something, right? Just give those a little score so that those can fold in. Okay, like so. Beautiful, just like that. So this is kind of the main frame here of our box. So now we get to do some of the fun stuff. So we are going to start here. I've got my Granny Apple green strip. Now again, this is 1 1/8 by 10, and I scored it at 1/2 inch. So the 1/2 inch side is actually over on my left. Here's what we're gonna do. First, we're going to fold on the score line and burnish it. So you can see, right? One side is 1/2 inch. One side is 5/8 inch, and even when it's folded, you can tell this guy here is shorter, right? So I'm going to keep that shorter side over here. And what I'm going to do before anything else is I'm going to actually use my bone folder to curl this. This is going to become like the bottom wall, I guess, of our box, and it's going to need to bend a little bit. So I am just using my bone folder to help it curl a little bit, just to make it easier. Now it's really curly, right? But you know, beggars can't be choosers. We gotta just work with what we got. I don't know. All right, so let's use some tear and tape here. On this 1/2 inch strip, I'm going to set my tear and tape all the way down that 1/2 inch strip. Okay, and pull that. And here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull off the backing. And I just use my snips for that, just to grab it. And, oh, I grabbed it and then it was like, I'm gonna go back down. Okay, we've grabbed that. We're gonna pull this off and then we're gonna make little snip marks. Now I learned this technique last year. I'm gonna just snip, like fringe this all the way up to that score line, okay? Last year I made a cute little mailbox that was inspired by Erica Serwin, and it had a curve in it as well, and this was actually her tip. So I of course remembered it because it's very clever. Because if you fringe this before you pull off any of that tear and tape, all the backings, you're gonna have to pull off all those little miniature backings one at a time, and who wants to do that? Not me. So this way works much easier here. All right, so we're just gonna snip, snip, snip all the way. Now, while I do this, I did want to mention, so this set, obviously we're using those arch dies. We're using the stylish shapes. We're using the Darling Dinos for a sentiment. We are mix and matching a lot of things. Now, I do have a class coming up in February of 2025, which is when this video is releasing. And it features the beautiful, the fun, the hilarious Darling Dinos bundle. So if you want to get in on that class, if it's still February, please send me an email so I can get you the registration link. Registration will open on, I believe it's February 12th. So I think that's the Wednesday. So that's when registration will officially open. It is going to be a super fun class with cards and all that. Now, we won't be making this project, but hey, that's okay. You got a YouTube video now showing you how to do it, so you can make one of these for sure. Okay? All right, so I'm going to pull in my silicone craft mat. We've got this totally fringed here, right? This side's got that tear and tape. And what we need to do is we need to put this on our dinosaur. Now, it does not matter which one is the bottom, which one's the top. Just pick one. I'm going to just have this side be the bottom here. And what I'm going to do to start it, I've got that score line right here, and I've got the score line right here. And I'm going to line, sorry, it's curling. I'm going to line this score line up with the edge here. And just like a little bit, like maybe an inch in, just to help it start. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just pick this up and go little by little, and it's all right to not push down all the way so that you have some time to, you know, say, I don't want you there, move over here, right? And we will just go little by little here to stick this down. Now the fringe is really helpful because you can see how those little itty bits, that is what you're committing to move, right? So you don't have anything solid, anything like a corner that you have to move around. So is it going to be perfect? Probably not, but it's okay because it's handmade. It does not need to be perfect. It will still be loved and appreciated, right? So, and if you don't have anybody in your life who would love and appreciate this, then you can make me one because I will love and appreciate you and it. So just saying. Anyway, so we're just going to wrap this around here. And yeah, so this is what came to my mind. I wasn't entirely sure how I would put it together, but this is what came to my mind during last week's Craft and Chat when I was like, oh my gosh, I have a brilliant idea. And this is what it was. So you can see there, I've got that wrapped all the way around. It's sticking out in a little bit, you know, but it's okay. And it is a little bit extra, right? I cut this at 10. It's a little bit too long. So I'm just eyeballing. We're going to just cut down here to that score line and just remove that excess, okay? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then we can take our bone folder and just push these down now that they are where we want them to be. Right, just roll that around. Okay, now we are going to do basically the same thing with this basic white strip, but it's going to be a little bit different because these need to be some teeth, right? So we got to do some extra cutting here. So I'm going to burnish. Okay, and then maybe this time we'll add the tear and tape first, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we should cut the teeth first. What do you think? Let's cut the teeth first. Okay, so I'm just going to use my snips. We're going to cut, this is the 5/8 inch side, and we're just going to cut up to the score line. Just cut little triangles to make cute little teeth. Doesn't need to be perfect. They can be different sizes, right? Whatever you want to do here. And you know what? These are pointy, so they might be a little scary, but you can do them rounded if you want to. This way is just a little bit faster. All right, let's pull some of these here. We're pulling teeth. Okay, so, oh, you know what? I maybe should have rounded this first. Just because, okay, let's round. We've done a few, but let's just round, just so it's not all like weird later where it's like getting caught and stuff. So we'll just, okay. All right, we're back in business. And then just keep cutting your teeth. All right, I'm going to speed this part up to the end here of cutting the teeth. All right, so there are all of our little teeth here. You can save them if you want. You know, if you have your teeth collection. Did you ever do that, like for your kids or for yourself or whatever? Like, did you ever save your teeth? I think we did save some of mine, and I don't think we have them anymore. Because the tooth fairy would always leave them for me. I'd always leave a note, you know, asking to keep the teeth because I was really into that. I thought it was cool. And you know what? Maybe it wasn't. But at the time, I thought it was pretty neat. So, you know, but I think I've since gotten rid of them. Because that's, I don't know. Is it weird? I don't know. All right. So let's go ahead here, and I added that tear and tape. We're going to peel the backing, and we need to fringe this again. Now, because we've got those teeth that we've cut, I am going to make sure that I don't fringe in the same spot, just out of precaution to not accidentally, you know, cut off any of our strip here. So we're just going to fringe this, just like we did that other piece. Some of the fringes are, you know, maybe a little bit bigger. Sometimes, like, I feel like with the green, the Granny Apple green, my snips were like not sticking to the tear and tape, but now they're sticking. So, you know how it goes. Okay. Just keep fringing. Now, okay, so here's another question. Did you have any like big dinosaur fanatics in your life? I like them for sure. I like learning about the history of dinosaurs and all that. But I was never huge on dinosaurs. Like, I couldn't tell you the difference. I couldn't tell you all the names. None of that. I actually just watched Jurassic Park for the first time maybe like a year ago or so, which is so bizarre to think about. But yeah, I hadn't seen it up until that point. So I don't know. Kind of wacky. All right, so there's that. Now we're going to go ahead and add our dinosaur teeth. This end flap here doesn't actually really seem to have very much adhesive on it. Whoops, and then that's wanting to stick already. So I might just pull in my seal real quick. I didn't go quite all the way to the end with my tear and tape, so I'm just going to add some seal on that little last itty bitty strip there. Okay, and then we can go ahead and add these to our box. So the same thing, that score line there, I'm lining up with the edge here just maybe get like, I don't know, 3 or 4 of those fringes in place, and then we'll just pick it up and pull that wherever we want it to be to help align that. So cute. Okay, round that. This part is kind of satisfying once you're done. You know, when you're working on it, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, could this just be done already? But during, I'm like, or I mean after, I'm like, yeah, look at what I just did. You know, lots of things are that way. Cleaning, not fun in the process, but it's really nice when it's done. Even for me, cooking. I hate cooking. Some of you might be real big on cooking. I hate it. It's just not my jam. All right, so this last one here, we're over a little bit again. Now our tooth is gonna look a little funny, but it's all right because nobody's looking at the back tooth, right? All right, so that is all added. We can go ahead and push these down again with our bone folder. I am going to have the teeth be the top of the box because we're going to put some, you know, candy and stuff inside. But first what we're gonna do is I'm gonna flip in these little tabs, and I'm just gonna use seal. You can use liquid glue or tear and tape. And I'm just going to use a little bit of seal here on those tabs. And I'm actually going to have this sit up and connect with the bottom here because I want our box to always be sitting up. And that is just personal preference there. But isn't that fun? Isn't that so cute? So that it's always sitting up like this. Now, we need to do some covering here just to help, you know, make things look a little bit nicer, especially with that. I was kind of just, it's not my jam. I'm like, I don't want to see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with one of these black arches that we die cut. And you can probably hear me opening and closing drawers here. I'm just going to grab out here some embossing supplies. Okay. So we've got, hold on. I've been getting spam calls lately, like a lot. They're kind of obnoxious and they're always around the same time every single day, same area code. It drives me nuts. But anyway, I just had to decline one. All right, I used my embossing buddy there. I'm actually going to start my heat tool. It's in the background, but I'm going to get it started because it needs to get warmed up. And we're going to open up our Versamark pad, which is basically just sticky. Okay, and we're going to ink up your T-RRIFIC, which is so cute, and stamp this down onto our arch here. Now I've got that arched part up to the top. Our sentiment is going to go on the top of the mouth, and so that's the way the arch goes, right? We've got our white embossing powder here, so I'm going to open this up. And I've got this spoon that I use for all my embossing powder. And we're just going to set that over. Tap it off. I usually like to just do it again, just real quick. Just tap that off and we'll close this up. And we can heat emboss this. So I've got my heat tool. It's pretty warm. And I like to heat from underneath. Now I get questions about why, like, does this work better versus heating over the top? This is honestly just the way I learned. I don't think that it turns out different either way if you heat from above or below. I think it turns out, you know, you get the same outcome. That's just how I learned, so, you know. But I get that question sometimes, and it's a great question, but I honestly don't think it makes much of a difference. So, all right, we're gonna let that cool for just a second. We're gonna take that other black arch, add some seal on the bottom, and this is gonna go inside our little mouth here. Isn't this so fun? It's so cute. I love it. And I came up with this all on my own. Other than the idea for fringing. Oh, come here. There we go. Other than the idea for the fringe to get that rounded wall here, everything I came up with all by myself. Isn't that fun sometimes when you come up with a project and you're like, nobody helped me? All right, then we're going to attach this guy to the top. And of course, these are one size smaller on the arch, so you can see a little bit of that excess. If that bugs you, you could do the same size arch on the top and just know it might be a little snug, but you could absolutely do that as well, okay? All right, then let's take this Poppy Parade arch here, and this is gonna be the tongue on the inside of our cute little dinosaur. This could be an alligator too, if you want. I don't know, it could be a lizard. Maybe not with such spiky teeth, but it could be whatever you want, which is fun. Okay. So I'm going to take these little basic white circles, add some seal on the back, and pop these onto our box. Oh, so cute. I love it. And then we're going to take some glue dots and grab those basic black circles that were punched with that 3/8 inch circle punch. Add these to our glue dots here. Peel them off and we'll stick these down onto our box. And I have the eyeballs like they're looking over to the side. I thought it was cute. So that is our cute box. How fun is that? You can sneak some candies in here. You can fit a gift card in here as well. Super duper fun and just, I don't know, just something unique and different and really cute. So that is our cute little box. I hope you enjoyed it. As a reminder, if you want any of those measurements written out or supply lists or any of that, head over to my blog. The link is in the description of this video, so check that out. And yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. That really helps me out on YouTube. And I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me today. Bye for now.